it's different when I don't necessarily put myself on camera like that, where someone will think, hey, who's not active like Gobo on their page.
The camera's flashing, lights, camera, action. It's time and it's blood and it's passion. Hey, 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 talk about it if your body with no hesitation. Ooh, representing for your area code. Coming to you live from your favorite show. It's the Forecast. Hey, talk about it if your body with no hesitation.
Welcome to the Focast podcast.
Do you not feel like ukuthi labantu abakanjalo are the ones who are very, very talkative?
No, I am.
Labo basabayo ukuba phambi kwabantu or basabayo ukuloko benakiwe kodwa give them an opportunity, they go.
I just think it depends. If it's like a topic that I'm actually interested in,
Sure.
I could just build the confidence with and could.
What makes you as a photographer want to look up to a Virgil Abloh who's a designer?
I wouldn't necessarily say I would look up to him, but then...
Or what makes you use him as a reference of inspiration?
See, like I feel like with him, he never kind of like boxed himself as just a designer. I want to just say it's like an engineer, like as an artist as a whole. Engineer in like the broader term, I would say. You can engineer clothes, like the way the silhouette. So there, I'm like, okay, fashion. I like clothes, dog. So, how would I shoot street style?
Sure.
Then I kind of like look at from like different brands. Like, I like how they shoot this. Why is this dark? Like being more intentional. So like moving into like the price. Like I like how they're always colorful. There's a reasoning behind that. I've been trying to like move that direction in terms of Hispan dog. So yeah, I've been trying to be more intentional. Like my reference points have been fashion, editorial, like for Vogue to your Harper's Bazaar, like about that kind of work.
Just to take it back a bit. Sabelo, where did you grow up? Where are you from?
I'm from
Mlas. Sure. But you don't look like a township boy at all. Like even when you talk, bro, you don't. Like were you like an outcast at Luxini, or were you one of those kids that come on a map bunch?
No, never, dog.
Like you look like the type.
I've always been lookish, but also like the car were very strict, so
Sure.
So we don't smoke, we don't drink. So we bad me not to get influence from like
Sure.
whoever stereotypes a luxury. Hey,
Sure.
But I've never been that person. So in terms of like how I grew up, luxury in grade 10, I started doing my graphics, like illustration.
Graphic designing.
No, illustrations. I bought when cartoons like Casper's first album cover.
Sure.
Like those cartoons. I used to do that, but at like a really bad level.
What, using Photoshop, Illustrator?
Paint.
Oh.
Damn, those are the days.
Why are you comparing it to a Casper one?
No, I'm trying to picture. trying to paint
No.
I'm trying to paint the picture, dog. Would say I started like doing illustration.
Sure.
Where I always knew, would say I'm more of like a visual person.
Sure.
So from there, I started doing like a cover. My friends were rappers in high school, so I'm like, I couldn't rap though. So
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what can I do? I was their manager, so cool.
What are you managing? I'm just curious about that.
It's about when you can't do something, you start to look around. What can
White
I
boss.
do?
White boss, more.
No, well, I've always been the person who's very good.
No, what I'm trying to get is, because I feel like, your story right now, I'm relating to it in many different ways. Because now I wasn't a dancer, but I managed dances. I could rap, but I wasn't a great rapper, so I knew that this career is not gonna work for me.
My friends told me from the jump I suck at rapping, dog. So
Sure.
So I never even tried to even like pursue it like long term, or was. So from there I was the guy who looked for studios. I was the guy who arranged my photo shoots. I was the guy on Instagram looking at like photographers who's a photographer in Durban, how much.
That was before you studied photography.
This was 2016 though, so it's like grade 11.
Wait, 2016 is like now. Grade 11, bro?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so this is now, dog. So
Sure.
2016, I was in grade 11. My friends were rappers, dog, or trying to be rappers. So we were trying to find our place in the game. So I couldn't rap, cool. I made peace with that very early.
Sure.
So, I was their manager, so I was the guy who kind of organized JEC, the dog. So from there, I realized the would say, hey man, I'm actually so I started building from that. So what can I do also? Because I know for a fact I'm not into corporate or desk. Like every day I like new challenges. So like if I'm into like a desk in, I probably get like tired or so like I started doing that. From there in matric I applied to the DUT, applied for a video tech. Guess what? Rejected me.
Video tech. Why are you acting surprised about rejects?
No, because this
Were you a smart kid?
No, I wasn't.
No, entitlement say
No. As soon as I got to matric, I actually would say for the video tech.
Sure.
Me, I'm a visual person, and from here I want to direct movies, short films, ads. That was me. So, May, June, I apply. September, I'm going to reject. Like, damn. Okay, now what? The person being me, I'm stubborn. Like, okay, creative arts. No. So we say, connect the video tech number 1, number 2, photograph number 3, graphic design number 4, is media studies number 5. CAO, it's basically like a paper more.
Oh, the green thing is Korean. This is green, eh? That's pink. Hey man, hey.
At the time, it's not even physical anymore.
How bad
It's
that
not
thing?
physical anymore. So I applied. There was like 6 spots. I put like 5. I think the last one was like media studies. Media studies are out because they told me if it's not number 1, you should just forget. I'm like, okay, cool. Luckily, photography came number 2. I'm like, okay, go out. Did the interview, came back the following year, started doing it. Then I'm like, I actually like this. So I wouldn't really say many photography. I'm told lesson because in my head I'm a video person. I still am, but like I gravitated towards it. It told me more, and I started to find my eye. So that actually developed over time.
Okay, let's go back a bit.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
2.
2.
Yeah, just me and my sister.
You the younger or older?
I'm the youngster.
You're the youngest?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's crazy though is
Not even.
and
your last born.
yeah, I can actually see that, but at the same time, I feel like young Msizi into Kaya, especially with my mom, she was cool. Like said, good do you?
Sure.
So I questioned that.
Your dad is in the picture?
Yeah, he is. But then he wanted me to do like, who cares the show? Because that's what he does.
He's an electrician.
Sure.
Sure.
It was more like
a
nurse.
So you don't come from like because abanye inspiration or motivation for them to do this is because maybe they've always some stories.
I wouldn't grow up rich,
no, I'm lazy, but I couldn't ever reach him last.
I mean that's subjective, but at the same time, they kind of allow me to do my thing.
Sure.
So I'm needing support because my sister.
How did you sway them to allow that coming from in Lokshini where everyone is expected to be a teacher, a doctor, or some dope academics?
Luckily, I was in like a multiracial school, so like my references were so different from like literally everybody else in Lokshini.
Just because I like asking these things because I'm understanding and I understand. Multiracial, what's multiracial?
It's more than
which level does it get to?
No, at the lowest level. But what I'm trying to say is, even if it wasn't really multiracial, but where I was, it wasn't.
It felt like.
It felt different from a Lokshini where. No, about dark, but then let's say Lokshini. What we talk about here in Lokshini are 2 different things. What we're into are 2 different things.
Because the thing is, I don't feel Amandia or like Indian schools by being a multiracial school itself.
Yeah, I don't know.
But once you are able to a multiracial, I don't know if you've noticed that.
No, then I take it back then. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is, my references were different from a Lokshini.
Sure.
I wasn't from there Lokshini.
Sure.
So from the Tegweni, people from different backgrounds come through. So like.
Which school did you go to?
Huntsville Secondary.
Oh, like mom.
Yeah, but my point is, if you know that school, it's not necessarily multiracial, but
sure.
But my references, people from
I know it's people from all walks of life. Yeah.
So
walks of
in grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, I wouldn't say. In grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, dog. I'd say, dog, I didn't know what I was doing, dog.
Sure.
I was coming from a Gardenia. That was literally multiracial.
What is Gardenia, bro?
It's a primary school.
It sounded so sexy, man. Like Gardenia.
No one lied. That was my first experience.
That's a primary school.
Yes.
Okay.
White people, colored, black, and Indian. So everything was around.
Do you think what's influenced Lapo might have been the cause of you seeing life the way you look at it right now?
It gave me a huge background and a stepping stone to who I am right now.
Sure.
Because if Lapeng from the luxury in Sakala, I literally wouldn't be here, to be honest, because I feel like the person you are, Sakola, to who you are right now, the foundation is very important. So me from the Gardenia moving on to a hunter with you. Nothing Zazi in a way would say, I don't like this, I'm here. So even my influences are so easy for me to not be peer pressure because I kind of found myself gangan. But in terms of interest into things that are basically the version I am now, it's basically it's high school from grade 8, 9, 10. From grade 10 is the way I found myself. Nah, man, you actually do this, you like this, and you're not confused. I actually like this, and I'm not unapologetic. So
sure. So
when I even from general, you don't do accounting or science. You just do history and math lit. I'm like, no, man, there's no need for me to go do physics to prove a point.
Sure.
Well, men got the alarm and you found video tech, and physics is not gonna help.
So from high school, you knew to shape video tech.
From grade 10.
What I want to know is, okay, because I think anything that one does after school, it build up from something that might have influenced them at an earlier age in life. Did you go to a? So I understand what uzufika grade 10, because I don't think kone videographer again.
No.
What made you want to do video? Did you know what directors are teasing? Did you have internet again in Mpumelelo? Because
I mean,
what drove that?
I think, to be honest, I couldn't rap in grade 10. I'm like, what can I do? Because such a group called Black Metaphor, like 5 people.
Why were you part of the Metaphor?
Yeah, it's actually a crazy story.
Sure.
I don't think I've told anybody, but literally, there were 5 of us, 4 rappers. I mean, rap.
Sure.
Okay, clean. What can I do though? That was my things. I have to contribute.
So challenge. Still good.
Of course, no. It wasn't really malicious. It was like, hey man, you're not good. You can get better, but then at the same time. To be honest though, so I'm like, okay, clean, I can floppy. Mina, I'll be the guy who's doing artwork. So I was there doing artwork, I was managing them. So I feel like that's where it kind of started, if I'm really being honest, because nobody does. My dad's an electrician, my mom's a nurse, my sister's like a teacher. We don't do anything fancy, we're not popular, so there's nothing really that visuals come from. It came from my friends being good at something that I wasn't. So I'm like, in order for me to help them or be part of the group and be helpful, what can I do? So I've already done like my visuals, so like in terms of graphics, like I told you, illustrations. I did that, I was doing artworks. So I'm like, okay, that's nothing. Let me do it, managing them at like the lowest level where I'm like organizing shoots, finding studios.
I'm model.
I need to be like me I was smart, so I'm like, okay, I have to present ourselves accordingly.
So you were already into branding at the time?
I didn't know it was branding. It was just
you were just sure.
Okay, because I know references. It's okay. Hi, they have clean pictures. You do a photo shoots. Okay, swala. Okay, who's a photographer? Go on Instagram. How to find the DOT clean? I have to hit them up. Eventually price. Let's say 10 right every day. Paying Nyanga will be like 500. You can pay this person. I was the guy buying minimally because my friends were literally disorganized.
Big time.
No, they were disorganized. I was the guy who had to force them. So that kind of built like a foundation for me. Hey, let's go do this. At the same time, the same years, Nasty was coming up. Like, the young guys can actually do it. But if you move like this.
Is Nasty around your age?
No, but then he was bubbling up.
Oh, sure.
Like the Price City era.
Did you know him before he became famous?
Nasty?
Yeah.
No, I don't know him.
He comes from that direction.
No, I mean like he.
I think Yabuzu, did you know him? You just.
I've never even met him though.
Oh.
What I'm trying to say is.
You're gonna meet him, much.
Then I'd love to conceptualize something for you.
No, definitely one day. I mean, impilo kanjalo singayibuka ngathi kude for now, but it's closer than we think because of the stuff that we do.
Of course.
Yabo. So angiye lapha it's just to move away from history ekude kakhulu. I want to know more about your day. Mawukinje like mhlambe
Right now?
no, not today. Like your day, every day, getting up. What's the first thing that you think about when you get up every morning?
I wake up, check my emails, dog. So I have a business partner with that. So we have this working relationship. He sends me work to edit. So I do
Sure.
editing, I do photography, then I have my own gigs, then the stuff that I'm doing on the side. So I wake up, check my emails, if it's quite like we transfer. If I echo, talk to him, what's the plan? If it's clean, I know when I'm going to work, it's probably sorted.
Sure.
I'm a person that doesn't like having backlog.
Sure.
So I try to be as up to date. So if I take this span, go work, do gym, come back, Starbucks, that's basically like, I'd say the community setting.
What happens in Starbucks?
Nothing, dogs. Literally,
Oh,
I'd say there's like a set of community, dog, where most creators kind of meet up. If they don't really meet up there, we bump into each other in town. So I don't really try to be in locations all the time because most things happen, man. So do gym after gym, go to town, Starbucks. Then we just socialize. From there, me and my friends would just talk about arts, photography, visuals. So you take a challenge of it. So from
Okay.
there, we plan things.
okay. I can tell ukuthi shuthi every day you wake up with an idea of ukuthi la ngiyakho ngisawusebenza, and then sometimes you end up in social gatherings. Manhlangana with friends. What do photographers talk about? What topics do you guys talk about?
Me and my friends, like, luckily, we're into the same thing, so we just talk about the visuals, ideas. We're not as technical anymore. When I used to be very technical, like, hey, what kind of light they use, what kind of camera they use. I try to shy away from that because now I think ideas matter more. So we just talk about, hey, did you see that new Kendrick video? I like the way they shot it. Did you see this transition? We'll literally speak for an hour on one scene, why it's good.
Mhlambe, just to find out more about your educational background, you went to DUT, correct?
Sure.
Which year to which year, and what do you think you got there that makes you who you are today?
So I went to DUT 2018 to 2020, so I did 3 years, graduated, plus of COVID. So I didn't really graduate from the online program.
So now ufana nomuntu afundile nje.
No, unfortunately. At the same time, I'll tell you this, dog. A lot of people ask me, should I go to DUT? I'm like, bro, if we have the means, for sure.
Sure.
At the same time, I could turn into a phone, dog. Because in the end, it's really about passion, dog. I literally operate on passion. So if you're DUT, what they'll do is they'll streamline your thinking. Basically meaning you won't waffle around. Like if you're into Ingo, then they'll teach you how to best get products in Ingo, how to approach it, how to shoot it, visual communication, to unpack it, why is this picture strong. They'll teach you business, then they'll teach you the technical side, compositions also. About once you look at the picture, I'm like, I like this, then you're able to dissect why you like it. So they'll unpack your thinking basically for you.
There's a quote that says, don't take a child to the river for them to drink. Yabo?
What do you do?
Teach a child to always be thirsty.
Okay.
And if you can teach them to always be thirsty, they'll always go to the river themselves to go find water and to quench their thirst. Because if you take them to the river to drink, they won't know how much it took for you to take, or what strides did you have to go through to get them to the river. So basically, it's a whole thing of don't give a man a fish, teach them a fish so they can fish for a lifetime. It's a common one, like, but I'm saying, mangita manzi. So long as you're thirsty, you'll always need water, and you can't survive without water. Who fish you can live without. I mean, even if you don't teach me how to fish, okay,
You'll survive.
Yeah, I'll survive. But water, you can't. So when we speak of creation, people always want to figure into because agaze yenziwe before.
What makes something really like good
Hey,
What makes something good?
what makes something good
Yes.
is your belief.
So even if people don't get it, it's still good.
Even if people don't get it, I'll make an example with one of the creatives. Is Naila industry. You probably know him. With JP Gumede.
Yeah.
He's doing something that's been done, but
it's
it's
I can't really wrap my head around it. It's transparency.
okay. With JP Gumede is a
That's
videographer.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
I know him.
But most Manje, he's on another level. He's got a marker signing in Gubozake, like a farmer, like graphics and stuff. His shades, airports. He's got a lot of things. Nang safuna umletha la. Yabo engiyakona ukuthi yazi mawibuka at first glance uzothi siyasanganaka. Sebanjwe isikhanya West.
But
Yabo?
let me tell you, what I go through is I'd make something
Sure.
and I push it. Now, I like pushing things. So at points where it's like very, but I like pushing things because I don't like being different. But I'm like, we push it to a point where like, it's where now you're not sure.
I mean, I feel Yonki Dengenza is beautiful.
Or I do something and I like this, but I know people will question it.
I might not have. I'm very confident with everything that I do, but I will never blow my own horn. You blind or injured. I'm the type of person not I'm sure. Now
I tell myself when something is good, but at the same time, I try not to be a person externally.
I'm not sure he's on abantu.
I can tell now people will like Doug, and I like going the opposite direction. Or I kind of stack it into one thing. Let's say I'm going to take pictures and post. I know what people really gravitate towards, and I like pushing things towards it. Hey guys, I know you like this, but that I like really doing. I like doing art.
Sure.
And I like mixing arts with like fashion. So if I want to make somebody like very dark, but put them in like editorial, some faggy and use the flash. Those are all 4 different mediums for 4 different styles. But like, I like it because it's interesting. It starts a conversation. That's where I like pushing things.
But do you get clients who want that type of work?
Well, right now I'm fully operating off passion because I've diversified my money. When I'm making something, especially what people see on IG videos, just try also this.
There's a thin line between being different and being weird. Some people kind of don't get it all the time. Some people know how to balance the two. Do you ever find yourself falling on the weird side, trying to be different?
No. Also for the I feel like I'm conscious enough of knowing what's weird to other people because, like I said, also I work with Uta and most of his clients just like clean work. So I do clean work so many times, like in a day, in a week, that I know what works, what they will gravitate towards. So I know when I push it, I know where to stop. And I know I can be, if I want to be fully weird, I know for a fact, my target is not here. Like, goes back to reference points towards him. I know when weird works, because where my interest lies, there's people making a living there. So if I really push hard enough, I know I can get there. And me being the person I am, I can research this person who's making weird work is represented by this agency. And if I go to that agency's page, it's like 20 other people, and they're all doing the same thing.
What's your end goal? Vogue.
Well, not my in photography, but my interest it opens up to different things. I'm into directing. I want to do short films. I want to do ads. I want to get into advertising, like the back end stuff, where you just get into what it takes to have a billboard, how much money goes into that, science, what do humans like, and this might work in advertising. Where can we innovate advertising? Because I just discovered, when you call somebody and you get like a message, like a please call me, like a missed call. There's an ad, dog. I'm like, that's smart. So I like those kind of things also. I want to get into like AI stuff. There's different things that I'm actually interested in. So in photography, Vogue.
So would you say, are you a photographer in business or you're a businessman in photography?
I always, in my mind, I say photographer, director, and entrepreneur.
So business is last to you, passion first?
Yeah, in that order. Honestly, I've managed to monetize other things, So Futsi, I won't lie to you, I'm not money driven, dog. So as long as I can make enough money to sustain myself, my lifestyle, I'm good. I don't have real dreams of like having millions just chilling unless I have something trying to fund.
Do you believe, okay, ngiyazi ngiyadigressa kancane, I just want to tap on the dreams one. Do you feel the whole idea of having dreams or being dream driven is a real thing?
See, I think it depends, dog. Because the thing with dreams is, if you don't have people around you that actually support your dreams, it's so easy to just like give up, dog.
No, but what I'm getting at is it really a dream?
See, if you kind of see it starting to manifest in real life, then I don't know if it's really a dream.
Because I feel like people have a vision about themselves that they create, because it's visual, it's vivid in your life. When you think about it, you already see yourself doing whatever. It's not necessarily a dream, it's just you thinking about yourself driving a certain car. And it's hard for you to think about it if you've never seen it or you've never touched it.
Sure.
Because you don't have an image of it.
So I believe in myself, dog, so much that like I don't really care what anybody says. I'll get there. I just don't know when, but eventually. So even if I say me now I get to vote, I am gonna get to vote.
Here's my thing though. As much as you may say you'd like to get to Vogue, but you are already saying to me right now, there is a sky. Do you believe there's a sky?
Yeah.
I say no.
No, what I'm trying to say is, I don't like having just liquid cash chilling unless
Sure.
I have a vision for it. So I'm trying to put it into a house, I'm trying to put it into a business.
Sure.
Like, as long as I can sustain myself, my life, my lifestyle, we grind it down, man.
And
I still fully operate off passion for now. I
Sure.
don't know, in the next 5-10 years, maybe I'll be a different person.
No, it's not wrong to have passion. You actually have to be passionate about everything you do. It's just that I'd say I'm an obsessed person. I don't sleep, I don't do whatever. I'm just on the ball every day. And not to go to I do better than you. When you are shooting, I open my backlog. I would have backlogs. I will have, because mkondo will freeze. Again, the other just busy. I'm busy. About new ways of how I'm gonna, build my empire or whatever. That's basically what I do most of the time.
Because I know you, like, with the amount of things you take on, like, I don't know how you split yourself up, because I have 3 things going on. I'm like, okay, this is enough now. I need to take a break. There's days where I'm like, I do not want to work anything. That's why I don't like backlog, because there's days where I'm just lazy.
And can you imagine when you saying backlog and it's only photos? Do you understand when you have video, you have got photos, you've got graphic designing, you've got a 360 yana, you've got a studio that you need to handle, you need to do this, that, and then the other. Konga local from one body. So I think experience has taught me Uti, if I'm gonna look at this as a passion thing, I'm gonna probably kill myself. Because you understand what happens in passion, everything is emotional.
Yeah, of course.
You become emotional about everything. One, if you can't do it the best or better than the other, then your life just kind of feels like.
How would you suggest I go about how?
No, but of course, to each their own. Like, I can't really tell you with how to do it, but I can tell you if you said I'm struggling with a certain something, it's me. Maybe try and look at it this way, but you're not struggling. You are still enjoying your journey.
In the creating process, but then we're still freelancing.
Don't look at money uthi I'm struggling because imali ayikangeni. Khumbula ukuthi yabona manje akuthi uyabuka mina ungangibuza uthi uphuma lapha mhla ngithi ngihlele studio uthi he didn't make money today. Wena uthi ngithi ngibuza uphuma lapha uphuma respect ngasemarespect ngayemhlanga ngabuya ngenza lana e-morning side ngiyoshaya something la e-restaurant thizeni sengila e-office lakho done 3 jobs uthi when I got paid 3 times yena he hasn't moved. But you understand, Uti, you can get paid 3 times. But what's the money I make a month is probably more than Limalo Enzai.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's at 200 rand every day.
That's passive income.
Yeah. So 200 rand, when I say 200 rand, it's not literally 200 rand. It could be 1,000 rand every day or whatever. But
whenever you figured how to monetize, especially like the young guys, how to monetize this thing.
How to monetize it in which way?
Like make money from it.
What, the
podcast?
podcast?
Like no.
What's that?
creating ithombe and everything. So I
No,
feel
no.
like-
For me, I don't really want to make money with Daisy. I'm from Daisy.
No,
Kono
fine,
kunjina ting chalo eti some social some abilities Daisy ngao na na but
I'm sure like the young guys would say, do you think we know how to fully monetize it? Because I feel like till now we're just looking at it from like you're shooting 80s and submit. Literally that's it.
You see, for me, I'm just giving you an insight of why I even started the podcast.
Yeah.
I realize this thing becomes a routine every day. You wake up, you go shoot, you submit.
Yeah,
but
that's
what
I'm
do you
getting
have?
into.
What do you own?
Bro, I'm getting into
Really?
that to would say, hey man, this is feeling like
Yeah, it's
feeling redundant.
because we
dog.
job, man.
Yeah. That's it's feeling very redundant, dog. So I was like, that's why I got to a point where I'm like, I don't mind if I don't gig, but let me find ways to make money.
Sure.
So I can still figure out where I wanna position myself in the industry. Going back to like the fashion, the beauty, the art. Like let me make enough money to sustain my lifestyle. Going back to I don't really need money that
Sure.
much. So I can sustain my lifestyle. From there, let me create from my references. I see people making art, making a living. I see people shooting fashion, making a living. I see people shooting beauty, making a living. Let me create from my own creative mind, push it. That's the Sabelo Mac brand. Then yeah, I don't necessarily have to go shoot people's parties. I don't like doing that.
Now, bro, like honestly, we all don't. Tell me, usakhuluma ngale ama party and private events and stuff. What has been your experience like when it comes to you as being a photographer, pitching up lapho shooter, client? Okay, you can give me a perspective yakho when client treats ngendlela ethize or once. Okay, asithi. I want an example when a client has paid you and which we told her treatment muskukeli already, no deposit, just fully paid. Treatment when you get to the event, how it's like, and then treatment good post.
So I guess it depends, man. I would say from let's say that one now usually I try and avoid it because mind you, let's say you pay me 2 weeks in advance. If it was so but at the same time, the client is usually in this free, but it's my job now. No excuses. I have to be there on time, be friendly. I always tell people, like, don't mind my language, but you have to kiss ass, dog. You have to make sure the client is happy, good vibe, especially my photo shoots. Even if I'm late, don't be that person now who's kind of like making the client feel uncomfortable, say asaba, or maybe pay out. Let's say it's like an hourly booking. Pay out if it's just no. Like it's the customer service parts, but I feel like people need to go in a corner because I try and make sure the client feels good. In all 3 of those questions you asked, make sure the client feels good. I greet everybody, make sure it's good vibes, we're smiling, dog.
How do you feel
in terms of
when all of this performance is done? Because you're a performer at that time, really. You're not yourself.
Yeah, I picked the customer service, my dog.
Customer service, I feel like in customer service, when you're servicing black people, it's different as opposed to when you're serving white people. White people just want you to know what you're doing and do what you paid for, and that's it.
I feel like
you don't have to kiss ass. You just need to do the work.
I feel like I've gone beyond that part where you don't have to worry about being able to do the job. I know I can do the job.
No, but what I'm saying is servicing a black client versus servicing a white client.
Can you elaborate on the question?
I just use instruction pen. I'm mdala enough to ask me questions. You know? It's funny when you hear it. Do you understand what's going to mean? You just says the last word and you know the funny thing about umdala. Then we funda musumdala now uqala ukwenza wakho ama decision ukuthi la umdala wakade ekufundisa impilo ukuthi ufuna receive kanjani without you knowing. Awuhlezi ubona ngathi uyakuluyisa hawu baba akafuni ngimtshele ukuthi nami ngifila kanjani. Like not that they don't care about your feelings, but they have to show you ukuthi you don't always get what you want.
Okay, that's very factual. My dad's very strict.
Sure.
So even right now, my dad's like to say something, dog. That's literally it.
Sure.
Even Mawia has we won't question it. I guess he piggy. So
Hey,
it is what it is.
And it's not ukuthi akazi na ukuthi can be wrong no me right. He's just
no, but the
affirming
way he
authority.
presents it, he is very like ilente yona and me no baba wekhaya phela kanjalo literally. So as thina ingane and the wife also like, hey, okay, kulungile sikhulumele waba.
Mm.
And living through Leo guidance, like kind of like puts it into perspective for me with, okay, this structure, this family household, how it runs. This is the guy to talk to, and how it is. Even it kind of pre-trains me. I also want my family to live like this, not in a way with your
Dictatorship.
yeah, but also you're guiding them. I'm sure now no reasoning and now me as I'm growing, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. Even though sometimes I question it, and a stubborn person in me, why. But him understanding he will explain why. And I might not get it, but I'm like, okay, cool. I will listen as and then as I grow older, I will understand eventually why and his reasoning behind it, and the respect he commands.
And do you feel that's what has made you the person you are today?
Of course. But also the stubborn person in me is measure something, I use my own logic. It's okay, cool. He wants this out of me. About don't do this, don't do that. I don't get it like initially. It's like, cool, okay. Then now I'm like, okay, and why? Because I can make my own decision from that. Don't smoke and drink. I like drinking, for example. I don't drink. So,
Or you smoke?
Not really, but sometimes.
Oh, so you're a smoker?
Weed. Just like a secret.
No,
But anyways,
so you smoke weed?
not all the time, not actual weed like a vape, Zen pen.
So there's weed in vapor as well?
Yes.
So you'll have found every trick to smoke land. You'll definitely pay me. Okay.
Anyways, my point is like he will tell you don't do this, these are drugs, they're bad.
Sure.
It's not cool, like, and you understand it, like that's what like, okay, why. Now I'm old enough to know like the repercussions of my decisions. It's okay, this is why. If I decide to take upon drinking, I know this is what it could do to me. And may not I could do it in like
What do you think drinking can do to you?
Oh no, dog, even smoking, dog, it will make you lazy, it'll make you destroy your life, like my priorities.
So you're slowly destroying your life in vapor.
Yes.
And you like that?
But if you ask me when last did I smoke, I would tell you 2 months ago.
No, so you're not a smoker.
I'm not.
You just
Sure. I like to experiment. I like to see, okay, I don't like that.
Okay. Okay. Because I feel like some people smoke for to calm themselves down and make themselves
that's a
feel.
clutch, dog.
No, because kumabuga almost 80% we youth ekhona yamanje yabhema to some extent, whether it be humbly or
plays a big role, like,
it's not social media, it's social life.
Okay, yeah. What about lean though? What about it, like codeine?
Codeine is CV, it's media. It's in its entirety, because I don't think we would have discovered Mutum and Sprite can get you.
That's weird to me though.
Yeah, I don't know who discovered that thing anyway. You know?
Yeah.
Knowing that you're a photographer and you're based in Durban, there's a Durban July coming up now, ne? How do you feel about this whole thing, Uguti? Here in Durban, you are going to be a photographer, but in the Durban July, you might be hired by another photographer who is not from Durban in the Durban July for a Durban gig.
I also feel like we should like make it a thing to establish Uguti. In Durban, the scene is very tiny to non-existent. So meaning, if you are anybody, maybe like celebrity, most likely you're starting Durban, then go to Joburg. From Joburg, you get the scene there. So Durban July usually means everybody across the country comes from wherever they come from, back here.
Back in Durban.
So usually celebrities from there or from here that live there now like the people there, which is fine. Like they will book there, come back down here, and if the guys that are booked can't get to the gigs, they'll ask us. So it's just one of those things where that's the kind of disadvantage we currently have. But
why is it a disadvantage? Why do you feel Joburg?
I don't feel that way. I just think it's what it is. It's like literally, it's facts.
But then what can we do as collective photographers, maybe Durban photographers, because this podcast is not only Durban, it's going to be, well, basically with any photographer, it could be wherever. But I want to say, what can photographers from Durban or videographers from Durban or creatives from Durban altogether do that could make them stand a chance at competing at the same level with Joburg?
More than anything, I just feel like it's these kind of platforms that are like very necessary. So we don't have to be like buddy, but
Sure.
what helps is having platforms that kind of unite us. So even when it comes to like quoting and invoicing, like having like a universal like standard fee where if they're charging $1,000 plus, can they in Joburg it's like $3,000. We should tell each other what's the fee, so we kind of grow the industry together. Yes, but we don't know. Like we should have this like camaraderie. Hey, but first, this is how we move here. Let's do that. Let's grow the industry. And later we should just like about this platform. I feel like it's very necessary. So let's just use it. Even other like forums, it doesn't have to be like group chats per se, but could be in Jhlambia, like a site where we just go there, assist others, because there's a big gap between entry level and I mean like super entry level and crop senses. So like people who've been in the game for like 10 years, and the people who've been in the game for 10 years and those who are starting, let's meet somewhere. So the guys know what to do for beginning, and the top guys, hey, but first, watch out, there's these guys. This is how to move. Like we need that. We can start in Durban, then move to the country as a whole. Just gotta start like assisting each other.
Okay. Just before I close, I want to know from you, Sabelo, Magwaza, what's next from here?
Oh my God! So I'm very excited, and I have my hands in a lot of things. But photography, I'm doing way more like conceptual work, trying to do more commercial work. So I might not have the most outputs, but whenever I try and drop quality work. So what's next is it's bigger work that's bigger than me in terms of like I'm contributing towards like in a billboard. I might be the one shooting the next particular campaign. Like that's the kind of work I'm leading towards. So I'm doing way more collaborative work with other people, trying to work with more makeup artists, trying to incorporate new tech advances like AI, trying to just push the boundaries for myself. I feel like that's where the world is moving. So it's just that kind of thing, staying ahead of the curve.
Okay. Just to close, before we go too far right now, I want to say thank you very much to Sabelo Magwaza for giving us this opportunity to have a chat with him, sit down and delve deeper into these conversations that we faced with in our career, which is photography, videography, graphic designing, and web designing, basically the arts of branding. I think I'd call it branding because we are the face of everything that's beautiful right now. So I want to say thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to chat with you, and thank you very much for sharing something, because sometimes you do ask a person to come and speak to you only to find that the person is just going to be answering the questions only and not having a conversation. So I feel like this conversation was really, really fruitful, because someone out there is looking at us saying, hey, I knew this guy had something to do with photography, but I didn't know he knew so much, or I never knew what he does, but now I do. You know, it's a platform, but yet it's a conversation starter. So I feel like we've got something going on today. So just before we go, I just want you to look at that camera and just give us a closing remark, and then also tell us where do we find you.
Oh man, you can find me on my socials at Sabelo_mag, which is Sabelo_mag. What's coming, man? Too much, dog. It's either win with us or watch us win. Let's go.
Awesome. That was a beautiful quote. Win with us or watch us win. That means if you can't beat them, join them. And I want to say, should you ever come across a photographer or a creative, please do try and know the person and not only what they bring to you, because sometimes you are not only killing what they came to do for you, but you are killing the person as a whole, because after servicing you, they become themselves and they have to remember everything that they have to deal with, trying to deal with you, meaning it becomes a psychological issue. So yeah, just to close, thank you very much for tuning in.
It's the forecast. Hey. Talk about it if you got it with no hesitation. Hey. Need a conversation. Hey. Have a conversation. Hey. Talk about it if you got it with no hesitation.
For more content, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment, and click on the notification bell. And don't forget to follow us at Focast_podcast.